Hello, and welcome to the RANGROO's Unit of the Week. And today we are taking a look at the K1A1 for South Korea. So in the 1970s in South Korea, they realised that M48 Patton tanks they're crap. They were rather inferior to the numerically superior T-62s that North Korea had. So during the 70s and the 80s, they developed a proper main battle tank, and eventually in 1987 they came up with the K1, a standard big ass main battle tank. But eventually later on in 2001 they reproduced the K1A1. The first model was produced in 1996, so it does kind of make sense why it is in Wargame. The K1A1 has superior features, such as an Abrams 120mm gun, which is quite funny because Abrams gun is actually a Leopard 2 gun. So it's a German gun that's been sold off to the Americans, and the Americans then sold it off to South Korea. It has laser range finders, thermal optics, all that fancy stuff, and better armor. And the K1A1 and even the standard K1 is still used in the South Korean army to this day. In game, the K1A1 is a 150 point South Korean unit, and it has 3 weapons available to it. The first one being the KM256, a 120mm cannon with range of ground of 2,275 meters, accuracy of 65%, stabilizers of 55, AP power of 22, HE of 3, and 9 rounds a minute. Overall, a rather standard high-powered tank gun, similar to your M1A2 and Leopard 2 guns, but also to your Challenger 2s and your bigger Soviet cannons, rather similar to them all around. And second and thirdly, we got an M2 Browning and an M240 machine gun. Nothing really too much to say, your close range, anti-infantry, anti-helicopter guns. If we just pop down to its miscellaneous stats, it has 18 frontal armor, 9 on side, 5 on back, and 4 up top. 10 HP, a big size, medium optics, a speed off-road of 70 km an hour, an on-road speed of 110, poor stealth, a lot of fuel. This thing eats up 2,000 litres worth, and it only has an autonomy of 500 km. It is year restricted to 1996, can only be brought up in armoured decks, and yes, it is a prototype. In battle, the K1A1 is your standard main battle tank, pretty much. It's big, has a big gun, and it has a nice amount of armour, comparable to your M1A2 Abrams and Charlie 2s, all that good stuff. The nice thing about the K1A1, is that it's slightly cheaper. It's only 150 points, 5 more points than a Leopard 2A4. And you're still getting the nice cannon, the really big ass 120mm. That thing will eat up anything, medium, light, even heavy tanks and super heavy tanks. It will kick a lot of ass with that 22 armor penetration power. But it does have one real downside. Because you're paying slightly less money, your armor is only 18 on the front. Now, you may think in the grand scheme of things that's not too much of a loss, and yes, for 10 to 20 points that's rather livable, but you got to realise that at the higher tiers, once you get to the 80s, 90s, 20, 21, 22 armour point tanks, those 1 or 2 extra armour will make a huge difference in the long run, especially against high powered ATGMs that attack helicopters and planes have, because now with Red Dragon, some of those ATGMs have up to 26 to 30 armor penetration, which is a rather big deal. Now the K1A1 is a rather nice tank to bring in your Blue Dragons deck, because the Japanese also got the Kayumaru Shiki, which is only 20 points more, and it has still the similar gun, but it's also a bit more highly armoured and a nicer rate of fire, so a very nice trifecta having your slightly cheaper super heavy tank and then your very expensive super heavy tank. But yeah, the K1A1, rather durable. Yes, it is pretty much an Abrams clone that has slightly worse armor, but bloody hell, it gets the job done, and it's a lot of fun to use. Make sure to bring these guys in your Blue Dragons deck, yo, you probably do already. But well, this has been another RANGROO's Unit of the Week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as usual, please just take it easy.